McGee Wolf with the Wolf Group with an important mortgage market update. Everything is going great in real estate right now. The latest news is that the inventory in the housing market is increasing. That's huge. Also, interest rates are staying low. That's a really big plus too. The cost of building materials is also going down. So all three of those wrapped into one makes for a really good environment for home financing, for purchases or refinances. One of my big questions though is, why does the Fed come out and saying that they don't see in the short term interest rates going up? Because as you probably know, that inflation is the enemy of interest rates. So I'm sure everyone has noticed that the cost of everything that they buy is going up. Tools, diapers, milk, gasoline, tires, you name it, that's all going up. So why in the world are interest rates staying so low? Well, I have an opinion on that. Well, maybe you've heard the term tapering on the news. And as a side note, does it ever frustrate you when you watch people on TV or on the news? They're using terminology that they expect you to know what it means, and you have no idea what they're talking about? That really frustrates me. So anyway, you may have heard the word tapering. Well, what it means is that they are slowing down the purchase of mortgage-backed securities, they being the Fed or the central bank or the federal government. Now, why would they be buying so many mortgage-backed securities to begin with? Well, because when they do that, it suppresses interest rates, which is artificial, but it's certainly helpful for the housing market, which is a very, very important part of our economy. But they can't keep buying all these mortgage-backed securities is at the rate that they have been buying. Now, here's where some of the trickeration is happening. So they're talking up here, they're saying, originally they said that they were going to be purchasing up to $40 billion a month in mortgage-backed securities. Well, that's a whole lot of money. They realized that inflation was happening, in my opinion, and they needed to purchase more and more mortgage-backed securities. So what they did is that they changed their language a little bit because, you know, language just kind of manipulates everybody. And what they actually did is they said they are going to purchase at least $40 billion a month. So if you look at that over 6 months, 40 billion times 6 months is 240 billion. Well, guess how much they purchased in the first 6 months of 2021? It wasn't 240 billion. It was $680 billion of mortgage-backed securities. So they are falsely suppressing interest rates in our environment. Well, that's good for us in many cases, but sooner or later, they're going to have to begin tapering, meaning purchase less and less and less of that, and interest rates will begin to rise at that time. Now, second, in my opinion, of course, don't think for a minute that these members of the Fed that are in their ivory towers, appointed by the federal government, don't think that they are not political creatures, because they are. And all of them remember what happened back in the late 70s and early 80s when inflation was rampant. Interest rates were through the roof. And guess what happened? The American people kicked them out. They voted them out because it was hitting them in their pocketbook, and that's where Americans vote. And so the consequence of that was a hard lesson learned for everybody in Washington, not Democrats or Republicans. All of them have learned that lesson, and they don't want to be blamed for inflation and increasing of interest rates. So they're doing what politicians typically do, is they just kick the problem down the road, and they're continuing to buy more and more mortgage-backed securities, suppressing mortgage interest rates. So specifically about you in mortgage interest rates, if you think in the next year or so that you may be a candidate to either purchase or refinance your home, I strongly recommend you get organized right now. Because again, at some point, and I don't know when that's going to be, no one does, interest rates are going to go back up. And you may miss that boat. So I strongly recommend that you get organized. And if you need to speak to a mortgage professional, a modern mortgage professional, we have some great tools that can help you understand all the different numbers structured based on your priorities and goals. Let us help you put that together. Just to show you what I'm talking about, if you take a look at this chart about interest rates in the last year, you'll notice that right here on Valentine's Day, that weekend, interest rates took the elevator up, and a lot of my clients were procrastinating and did not take advantage of the rates prior to that. They just had this sense of complacency and thought that rates were going to stay low for a long time. Well, they spiked up, they got demoralized, and they went and shut it down and were just licking their wounds. Well, as you see, as the old adage goes, interest rates take the elevator up and the stairs back down. Well, they went back down for quite a while, and we've had a little spike here recently, but notice they're coming back down again. So if you are one of those people who missed it before the Valentine's Day massacre, I encourage you to give us a call. Let us look at your numbers, give you some structure, and get the ball rolling. Right now, I have 2 clients. We're restructuring their debt, and they are saving, one of them saving $1,500 a month, another saving over $1,600 a month. I'm showing them both how to pay their house off, and one of them's in 5.5 years and the other's in about 7 years. So there is some dynamic information that can help your household's finances in a big way. Take advantage of the cheap money right now. Now is the time to do it, either to refinance or purchase a home. We're here to help you. So thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Everyone here at the Wolf Group joins me in that appreciation. And always remember, have a great day.